school. I don't know why they, took it out, but those are skills those are life skills,
But and this is, I'm and honestly, and I'm a teacher that I teach less and I give more life skills.
Welcome to another week of It Is What It Is Radio. I'm your host, Fly T. Miles. Before we get the show started, please give my brother Jamel Raymond Bishop a moment of silence. This is King Porter Forever Friday. Moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. And today, we have a great man joining us again. A family member of It Is What It Is Radio.
Yes, sir.
Mr. White is in the building. How you doing today, Mr. White?
Man, I'm honored, man. Like always, bro. Just good to be in your company, Jack.
I appreciate you taking time out to be with us here today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For those that don't know, let the people know, what you do for a living.
So I'm Coach White. I'm a relationship conflict specialist. And my mission is twofold. Number one is to help people with their vertical relationship with God so that their horizontal relationship could be better. And number two, helping people to understand how their present relationship conflicts have a direct correlation to their childhood relationships with mom and dad.
And I will say, talking to you, you helped me expand. Like when we were going through how I was raised versus how I was treating women and how it coincided with what you was telling me. Yes, I understand it. And I appreciate you for that. And I take a lot of your tools and apply them to not only my daily living, but I apply them. I'm forcing your stuff on, not forcing it, but I'm telling other people, listen, I'm telling couples, you might want to look at how each of you grew up. You might want to take a look at the household you grew up in. That plays a part.
Yes, sir, man.
It definitely does.
Honored, brother.
So honored. As far as, let's get with the relationship conflict, the conflict part. We had a talk today at the law,
yes,
aka 18 West 25th Street, where you can find Republic Great Man here. Please come get it. We were talking, me, my father, my brother, and my father mentioned something. He said, you know what, sons? A lot of women do not know how to meet people where they are. They're always trying to change them. Thought about my past relationships. I was like, you know what? You're right. What's your thoughts on that? Mr. White, as far as, meeting a person where they are and not trying to change.
Well, first of all, I'll say that our people are hurting, Fly. We are hurting people, man. And when you're hurt,
true,
it hurts worse when you don't recognize it for what it is. Because you bleed on people. Right? So a part of bleeding on people is trying to change them and trying to conform them into what you want them to be, who you want them to be, when you want them to be it, which is all a result of having a controlling part about you, right? That's trying to change people is all about control. And here's the challenge with that. The challenge is that only God can change people. So when we're trying to change people, we usurp his authority and his role in our lives. And I can only imagine God stepping back, smiling, saying, okay, you think you got this? You think you can change him? You really think you can change her? All right, well, you go ahead and do it. Good luck.
Right.
Because only he can do it, man. We're not all powerful. We're not all known, right?
You're right.
So I think number one is a part of us. It's a representation of the hurt in our hearts. And it's a failure to recognize that only he can change people. And as a matter of fact, man, a lot of it, or some of it stems from just being impatient, man, because we're constantly evolving, right?
Right.
we constantly evolving anyway.
Yeah,
so just be patient. Just be patient with God in this process, and understand that while He's changing us, He's changing you too.
Right.
Because a relationship requires the work of two people, not one.
Right.
So not one person doesn't have to change. Two people have to change.
Right.
It has to be a compromise, brother. Got to be a compromise. So that's what I would have added to that conversation earlier if I was there.
Yeah. It was we got deep, and I could relate because I mean, I've had relationships, and I'm not gonna say each woman has changed me, but I have been around some good women that have changed me and changed how I think. Now, I definitely wasn't overnight. It wasn't an overnight thing with me. I'm stuck at 42 years old. I'm still stuck. But I think patience. You got to have a lot of patience in a relationship if you want it to work. I believe.
Yeah.
Patience and trust. Without trust, though, you have nothing.
Oh, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah,
and even with the patient part, it's like, you know, some people, some women that I've spoken to, clients, mentees, or whatever, their question is, and maybe some of your viewers may have the same question is, well, how long do I have to wait? So my response to that is, how long do you have to love? Because patience is the fruit of love, man. Love is the seed that produces patience. So it's like, you know, how long are you going, you know, how long are you going to love? Because once love run out, patience is out the door, man. So that's the first, that's the one thing. And then trust, man, you can forget about it. That's a pillar.
That's the
if you can't trust somebody, you can't be in a relationship with them. It's not gonna work.
Right. I tried to be in a relationship where I know I wasn't trusted. And I really tried to do different things, but they were saying I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. And I think we bumped heads with that. So I don't know. But let me ask you this. How important to you do you think a friendship in a relationship is?
Oh, extremely important. That's also another pillar, right? Because I would hope that you wouldn't build a friendship with somebody that you don't trust. Right?
Right.
So if you're a friend, there's a trust there. But I'm gonna tell you what really strengthens the relationship. We all start off in a friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then at some point, that friendship evolves into a brother and sister type relationship. You know, you have spats with your brothers and sisters, but at the end of the day, y'all brothers and sisters, right? And that bond, that bond, in most cases, not all, it can't be broken,
right?
Because I don't like you today, you don't like me today, but guess what? We still brothers and sisters,
right?
You know what I mean? So that's a bond. That's a bond that should be unbreakable if it's genuine.
If it's genuine.
Because if we honest, some brothers and sisters don't get along, right?
True.
But the thing is,
I think that was a problem in my relationship. That was a problem. I was trying to build trust, but I was second guessing whether they were genuine or not, because like when we got into it, I called it like pushing me away. You was giving me away. So it was like I didn't know how to feel. 1 minute you're telling me you love me, next minute is, oh, get your stuff. You're the worst person that I ever dealt with. So it was all these emotions. I didn't know which way to go.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Yeah, it's tough.
Friendship though, like you got to have a strong friendship in a relationship before anything else.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, that's important, man. Friendship will take you a long way, man. If it's genuine. Everything boils down to the heart, man. Because the heart of a person is indicative of their behaviors, right? And I'm not talking about your typical behaviors. I'm talking about behavior patterns. You can tell the heart of a person based on the patterns of their behavior. So it all boils down to heart, man. You can't fool people if you have a certain pattern of if you have a certain pattern, I'm sorry, of your behaviors. You can't fool people and tell them that something is in your heart, because it will always manifest in how you behave. So we can say things, we can say things all day long. We'll do this and we'll do that, but what is the pattern of their behavior? That's what we got to pay attention to.
Okay, and I will admit I had a pattern at one time. I broke it. I broke my pattern, and I was patting myself on the back. But I mean, in all actuality, I was only doing what I was supposed to do. So it's tough. It's tough. They say, man, you say, friendship, trust. That's like the foundation. So let me ask you this. I was on Facebook, and a teacher that teaches at the school I'm at, she had posted something about relationships would be easier if the couples had an exit strategy. Like if they knew it wasn't going to work out, instead of just cutting it off. When they get into, the beginning, look, if this don't work out, let's make this strategy so we can both, clock out on a positive note. I was like, that sounds good, but how would you go about that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to know more about that, man. We need to bring her on the show.
We need to bring her on the show. We did. I might have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that.
Because I'm not gonna get into anything at what point do you need a plan B, right? And that's just a preface for me to say this. I'm not going into a relationship with a plan B. It's plan A, and that's it.
That's it, right?
Or
I'm
not going into it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, but one thing I respect about what you said about that post on Facebook is that there was an advanced communication that if this doesn't work out, this is what we agree to do. And everything, the relationships all really boil down to agreement. Right?
Yeah.
What do we agree on now? The problem is that we don't talk about it enough in relationships. Communication is so important. So we don't talk about, in the beginning, we don't talk about the things that may be a deal breaker for me, maybe a deal breaker for the queen or whatever have you. We so in bliss in the beginning that we are blinded to the real in-depth conversations that we should be having. So now when something, so we have to, it forces us to be reactionary when something occurs, instead of being proactive in the beginning and talking these things through and saying, hey, look, what you think about this scenario, right? In this scenario, what would you do? This is what I would do. And talking those things through. Oh, this is a deal breaker for me. What do you think about this? And talking it through. We don't do that in the beginning.
No, it's all hunky-dory, all love.
Yeah.
I ain't thinking about the exit strategy.
Man, listen.
That's interesting. Me personally, I don't know how I would feel if I met somebody and we get to know each other, we're in a relationship, and then they say, well, let's talk about the exit strategy just in case it don't work. I don't know how I would take that. Because it's like, all right, are you already thinking about that?
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to reach out to her, though, because we definitely need her.
Yeah.
More. Definitely.
And Fly, you know what, man? The truth of the matter is this, man. We all are a summation of our experiences. So I don't know what she's going through or what she's been through or what she observed. But for her to post it, she may have some feelings about it, and I would love to talk to her about, where it came from. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I don't get into, do you get into partnerships in business with extra strategies? You may, I don't know, but do you? Is that something you do in business? No. I'm not going into a business with you if we got an exit strategy.
Yeah. We're supposed to make this last.
Yeah, man. Grow.
So that's definitely interesting. Oh man, hey Marty, I know you listening. Go on Facebook and hit mirror. Mirror. No, I gotta get it to you. Look, well, I gotta get it. I don't know if stuff right offhand, but that's definitely something to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Exit strategy. No, I'm not doing that, Fly.
No. Like, all right, we're gonna get together, but just in case we don't, let's huddle up.
Yeah.
And make a plan.
So we're gonna build a foundation off of that? No.
Yeah, that's definitely different. I definitely would like. I don't know. She might be tuning in. I don't know, but I definitely would like to hear her side. Miss Ali, if you listening, we gotta send you the Zoom link, or we gonna get you on here soon so you can talk, so we all can have a round table and understand this a little better.
Indeed, indeed, bro, indeed. Yeah.
Indeed. Let me ask you, as far as relationship, back on the conflict, what do most of your, like, I don't want to put their business out, but well, let me ask, are a lot of the conflicts that you encounter like really minor? You think?
It's not minor to the person going through it. Yeah, it's major. It may be minor for me, you know, but it's different for everybody else. It really depends on, you know, I like to use the athletic analogy. You know, something may be, we talking about playing ball, right? It may be harder for you to make a move, go in and out, and then shoot a 3-pointer, right? That may be real difficult. But to somebody that does it, repetition, it's easy, right? So me and you, we may look at that and say, dang, man, that's a hard shot right there. But then you may say, man, he made that thing look easy, right?
Right.
Because he practiced it. So, you know, somebody coming in as a novice, or somebody that's coming in and doesn't know that particular individual, they may feel either way about it. So I'm saying that to say, that's probably not the best analogy to give, but I'm saying that to say, we were talking about communication a little earlier. I find that some of the conflicts that occur can really be resolved with effective communication.
Okay.
So for me, it may seem easy. Hey, all y'all got to do is talk about it. But for them, because there's so much tension and there's so much emotions involved, that it causes a division. And it's like, you get into a place where some of your viewers may have been in this place. You get in this place where all you got to say is this, but you so focused on that person's facial expressions, right? Or how they saying certain things to you in that tone, that I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, you got a point.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people don't. I mean, we get caught up in a lot of distractive things that are real, but it causes us not to get to the solution.
Right.
We have to be Fly, and this is one thing that needs to be discussed in the beginning. We need to be more solution focused in relationships. And often what happens is people talk about, well, you ever hear two people say this? Well, they start talking in circles. So they're not getting anywhere because they're constantly talking about what you did or what you said. And then he says, well, I didn't say that. I said this. And then she says, no, you didn't say that. I heard you. You said this. And it's like, hold on, time out.
Right.
Time out. Listen, nobody's listening.
Right.
One of the best things about communication is being able to listen to what's being said, right? And when emotions are involved, right, and it gets so high to its pinnacle, it's hard to hear what's really being said. You're focused on the attack, right? So we get on defense mode when we get attacked.
Yeah.
So we get to a point where we can't even hear what's going on.
Right.
So this is my suggestion. I'm giving you a scenario. My suggestion is not even to have the emotional conversation at all. Somebody has to be mature enough to say, you know what? We're not getting anywhere. Let's love each other enough to end this conversation right now. And let's say we come back to this in like 2 hours. I'll check in with you in 2 hours and you say, hey, are you ready? You say you're not ready. Then let's wait another hour. But let's try to resolve it before we go to bed.
Right.
Because if you go to sleep with it and wake up, it's probably going to be much worse. Still trying to figure that part out. But
I try to make it my business not to go to sleep upset.
Yeah.
I try.
And it's hard to sleep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You thinking
waking up angry with an attitude for no reason.
Yeah.
Nah, life too short.
Yeah, you so busy thinking about how the conversation is going to go tomorrow. And what's being planted in your head are things that you probably heard before, but you don't know whether they're going to say it this time. So you end up not communicating certain things because you're saying, well, if I say this, she's going to say this. If I do this, she's going to do that. And you wrestling with that all night. That's not healthy, Fly.
At all.
It's not healthy, man. We got to come to a place where we got to be problem solvers and we got to be peacemakers, brother.
Yeah. And we got to live in peace. We can't function if it ain't right up here.
No. Your head, your heart, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can you this is something I definitely need you to do. Can you give an example to the viewers, like you did with me, as far as when I was telling you about how I grew up with my mother versus how I was treating women?
Yeah.
Can you run that down? How important an upbringing is in the household, how that rolls over to your relationship?
Oh man, I can't talk about nobody better than me. So, my mother was she was a disciplinarian. She isolated me a lot. So, boy, go to your room. You know, I vividly remember, and I got a book coming out, so I'll keep y'all posted. This is part of the book. I vividly remember my mother taking out the Atari system. Remember those back in the day?
I had one.
Taking out the television, the radio, the telephone, taking all that out, right? And it forced me to manage my emotions on my own. So you understand, what I want you to understand is how that looks in a relationship when you're married. So now, when you get frustrated, when you get angry, when you're irritated, when you're irritable, you isolate yourself.
I do, yeah.
This is what I call in the book the silent treatment. So it's like you passing by your significant other and you're treating her like a complete stranger because you don't want to be bothered, because I was that little kid in the room, but I was 27 years old and married. So I looked like a grown man, but emotionally, I was a 9 and 10-year-old, Fly. Because I was conditioned, and this was a major part of my foundation. When you're upset, you isolate. You get away, right? You leave me alone. I need my time. Don't bother me. I'll come back to you when I'm ready. Because mommy never came to me and said, hey, you all right? Boy, I still love you. You know what I mean? You messed up a little bit. There was no transitional conversation. It was, Mom, can I come out? Mom, can I come out? Oh, boy, you getting on my nerves. Go ahead outside. But the punishments can be hours, it can be days, it can be weeks, or it can be as long as a month. So as this 27-year-old man, I was punishing her indirectly. Because I didn't know how to communicate what was going on with me. So it would be days, it could be weeks, or it can be a month where I was in that basement, in that what we call the man cave.
Right.
and it was constantly destroying my relationship, bro. That's why it didn't work.
Okay.
So I can't give a live example than that, bro. I gotta talk about me first.
I feel you, and like I say, what you told me, I really had to look at it like, you know what? He was right. He was definitely right. Like looking for that motherly love at one point in time.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that you helped me recognize that, you know, what I was going through, because I had no clue. I never thought about equating how I grew up to my relationship. Well, part of it, I mean, my father used to have a lot of women, so I used to think, well, maybe it's all right. Daddy did it, but it was deeper than that.
Yeah, think about the foundation of a house.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They built that first.
Right.
So the house can have something to stand on.
Right.
So if you come up under, and this is for anybody viewing, if you come up watching the king of your castle dealing with a lot of queens, that becomes a part of your psychological foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly.
Right.
So when you grow up, no matter how much you heard, you know, it's not cool to be disloyal, unfaithful, you rooted in it, brother.
Right.
It's natural.
Right.
It's going to be hard for not just you. I'm just talking in general. It's hard for somebody. Do you understand how hard it is to break a person's foundation and start all over? You're talking about something that was built for years. So I had, in my scenario, my wife at the time, she wanted to know, why am I like this? Why can't you just talk to me? You were talking about talking. Why can't you just talk to me when you're upset? You know, I'm like, here, I'm your fan, you know, I love you. I love the ground you walk on and all this and all that. And it's not that I didn't love her. It was just that part of me was immature. And it was that broken piece that I didn't recognize was broken. Because at the time, I didn't know why I didn't. So my response was always, this is just who I am. Either take it or leave it. This is just who I am.
Right.
But I couldn't figure out Fly. It wasn't until I really bowed my knee to God and said, you know what, this part about me is ugly. And I don't like it because I see how it's affecting people I love. But I can't change it. So I really need you to change me. And then over time, he revealed to me what I'm revealing to y'all now. It's like, this is how it started. All right, now I understand.
That's good. That's deep. And to piggyback off that, I was the same way. I prayed, you know, like wondering, like, damn, why do I? It got to a point where I would deal with women that truly love me, but I would hurt them. I would say, why? Yeah. And I would say, I prayed on it. And now I don't even have the urge like to deal with a lot of women. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Now I admit I was a wild boy. I've done a lot of things, but I have matured. And like now, it's just about one. Well, that's what I'm trying to make it about one, and that's it. I want to be able to love openly, trust, and not have to worry about my mate, you know, turning on me or anything. That's where I'm at with it now. I'm trying to live stress-free, argument-free, and just enjoy life, man. That's it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, Fly. You can't go wrong with that. I have actually one particular, I wouldn't say he's a client, but a really good buddy of mine, West Baltimore brother, real good brother. He shared a story one day about how his mom was a drug addict, right? For many, many years. I don't know whether she's clean now or not, or whether she's alive or not. We didn't get that deep into the story. But all of us deal with a degree of abandonment. Everybody. But all of us respond to abandonment differently. So there's not one client that I've worked with or work with currently that doesn't have some kind of abandonment issue. So what he did for a very long time, no, what he does, and he's in his 50s, he goes from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, because what he's doing is he's chasing his mother.
Right.
His mother is caught up in an addiction, right? And she's chasing the drugs that she's addicted to, and he's chasing her.
Right.
You understand?
That's deep.
Yeah. So what he said to me was, he said, Coach, man, I can't remember a time where I was alone. He has never been and in fact, he has admitted in that conversation that he fears being alone. So as a kid, he didn't have mommy, so he chased women, right? I'm saying women, but he chased girls.
Right.
As an adult, he didn't have mommy, so now he chases women. And he fears being alone. You see how traumatic that is?
Yeah.
So, but
he been doing a lot of running.
He said, man, and listen, if that didn't, let me give you another example. A real good buddy, and she's not a client, but she checks in every now and again. And you know, you could tell, your viewers probably could tell us if we'll own it. You can tell somebody's going through something based on what they posted, especially if it's a sequence, right?
Yeah.
So I checked in with her, right? And she's early 30s. She's been married for 18 years.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Let me give you the skeleton. So, the short version of a long story is that I checked in with her. Hey, what's going on? She said, I wish you lived closer. I said, oh, what happened? You all right? You know, you need to talk about something? She said, let me call you in like 5 minutes. Let me get my house in order. I was just doing something. I'm just about finished. And she called my phone. And she said, I'm in a relationship with this guy, right? And she's married. Remember I said 18 years.
Oh, right.
I'm in a relationship with this guy. And he's at a place, I've been in a relationship with him for a while. And now I'm realizing that we bump heads a lot because both of us are alpha. I'm an alpha female, he's an alpha male, and we argue all the time. So when I'm coaching, it's an art at keeping a straight face. So I'm laughing with you, but I'm like, I'm poker face.
Yeah.
We FaceTime, I'm poker face. So I'm like, okay. I said, so what's the goal? She said, well, I really like this guy. And if I'm honest, he's filling a void for me. Okay. So you know me, I want to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
Well, how deep do you want to go? So she said, I got time. I said, all right, well, what is the void? Right? It's sexual, it's physical. So I've been doing this for a while. So I didn't ask her anything about, we didn't get into the infidelity because that was already apparent.
Right.
But let's get to the root of it because you said there was a void. So this is the question that I asked her. Your husband is your king. Tell me about it. Real peaceful, don't want no trouble. I said, okay. And the guy that you're with, you know, he's a strong will, you know, he's a leader. And sexually, he pleases me. I said, okay. So here's my question. have you ever, and this is for anybody watching too, any of the queens watching, have you ever demeaned your king and made him feel like he does not satisfy you in that way? That's what I wanted to get to. The answer was yes.
Oh.
So here we have it. You have emotionally scarred this man to a point where he can't perform, and now he would just rather work and just bring home the money, make sure the house is taken care of. I'll just work. You see what kind of problem that caused?
Yeah.
This is deep, Fly. That's why I've been doing this long enough, so I know if you out there and you with somebody else and you saying they pleasing you physically, and talk to me about what kind of emotional damage you've done to your king. Because if you damaging the king and we talking about that, brother, that's a major. Listen, our pride hinges on that.
Yeah, it does.
So when you damage him on that, then I don't even want to be in the house.
Yeah, you done took the brain. You just got a body. That's it. A body that's just coming in and providing. Everything else, the emotions, gone. And I guess he may start to look elsewhere, depending.
The thing that she presented to me about him is that he's not even that guy. He wouldn't even step out. He has some health challenges that contributed to the lack of performance, right?
Gotcha.
But instead of her picking her king up, she tore him down.
Tore him down.
So she asked for some examples. I gave you about 3. Yeah,
viewers out there, please do not tear your king down or your queen. Please don't. Keep it positive. Be their number one cheerleader.
Yeah.
Please. If they fat, they overweight, go rub their stomach. Kiss their imperfections. Let them know that you love their imperfections.
Yeah.
I feel for the young man, and I don't even know him.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's a tough one. So speaking of that, Fly, how much we gonna go to a break or something? Do you got breaks on Zoom?
We going straight through. We good.
We go straight through.
With this Zoom thing, we good. We going straight through.
So look, let's kind of park on that for a minute, because I brought something to your attention earlier, and I'm actually having a panel next week. So if any of your viewers want to get involved in that, it's going to be next Wednesday. I think I said I'm starting at 9. So
I'm gonna
give you another scenario. You want scenarios? I'll give you a scenario.
Yeah, give me a scenario.
This guy has been with this woman for 3 years.
Okay.
I talked about this in the group. So anybody that hasn't joined the relationship conflict group, Facebook, please check it out. Check in. I will gladly accept the invite. If you send me an invite, if I can figure out how to send you an invite, I'll do that. But 3 years they've been together, right? 3, I'm trying to think. She was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to 35 pounds lighter in the beginning of the relationship. Right? So, no health issues. This is not about baby fat after pregnancy. She doesn't have kids. It's not about hormones. She's not going through that. It's not about any of that. So I want to make sure your viewers know that we're not talking about that.
Right.
She made it very clear to me when I talked to her. She said, Coach, I work a lot. I come home, I'm tired, I go to sleep, but I eat late, right? And I snack a lot at work. And he's right, I've gained a lot of weight over the years. So, according to him, he didn't demean her. He changed his diet, right? He tried to, hey, let's try this, try that, blah, blah, blah. she didn't want to do it. I like what I like. That's her response.
Like what she like. Excuse me too, Dr. White. I gotta go to my vehicle, get my pain medicine. I got a pulled nerve and it's killing me right now. But
that's all good, bro. That's all good. So, excuse me. So after that,
so she liked what she liked.
He started going to the gym, and he would invite her to the gym, but that's not her thing, right? And she made that perfectly clear. You know, I didn't feel like going to the gym. So he gave her an ultimatum. He said, look, he said, I'm being honest with you. He told her in love. He said that can you still hear me, Fly? You frozen on my side. Fly, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You had froze for a minute.
Okay, cool. So he gave her an ultimatum, Fly.
Said, and what was that?
Listen, if you're not, you know, I care about you. You know, I want you to be better, but I can't want it more than you. And you know, with all due respect, you beginning to become unattractive to me.
Whoa! At least he was man enough.
Yeah, we talked about communication. He communicated. He said, "Look, you know, if you're not willing to change things, then I'm gonna have to break this off." And he broke it off, Fly.
Oh,
he broke it off. So my question is to the queen. I wanted to kind of get some feedback from the queens, like, you know, what do you think about that? Because this is the feedback that I've been getting from the queens, some of the queens.
Yes.
If he don't like me, this kind of circles back to your point earlier, maybe. If he doesn't like me for who I am and love me for who I am, then so be it, somebody else will. But my question is, can you still hear me, Fly? You frozen. You still there, Fly? I'm gonna wait for a minute, unless I talk to myself. Fly, you still there?
If he would sit still.
Right.
Told about that iPhone.
That's funny.
Nope, he fell off. He'll be back.
Okay, no problem.
There you go.
I'm back.
Yeah, no problem, bro. So we left off ultimatum. So he ended up leaving her. So what I wanted to ask the queens is, because some of them had some of their feedback to me was, well, if he doesn't love me for who I am, kind of sort of back to your point. If he doesn't love me for who I am, then somebody else will. So then in that case, how do you define love really? Because is it love to tell somebody, hey, you know, I care about you, you know, you're gaining a lot of weight, you know, won't we try to go to the gym? Won't we change their diet? Is that love? Or is love not saying anything?
The first one's love, you know, at least meeting them halfway. And, you know, in that situation, you got to be your mate's biggest cheerleader, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. So, I mean, me personally, like I've done it. I've took those walks. I've been in the gym. You know, I've done that. So, I guess different strokes for different folks. But me, I just think as a man, if that was bothering him, he should have, you know, took steps to help her with her self-confidence, and also, you know, go to the gym with her. Take her with you.
Well, he offered that.
Yeah, but she ain't gonna go.
She ain't gonna go.
So,
she's tired. You know, and respectfully, you know, if she's tired, then she's tired. You know, that's you know, it is what it is. But it goes to show, you know, I pose the question is there really a such thing as unconditional love?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I I gotta get a little undressed on the show. I'm sorry, but I think it is.
Okay.
I believe, me personally, I believe in unconditional love, and I do believe that one is everybody out here for somebody, but soulmates. I think that we do have soulmates. I really do.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay. So I think that when we talk about unconditional love,
mm-hmm.
I think unconditional love should sound like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If me and the queen go to the altar, you and the queen, or whoever your viewers and whoever they with, they go to the altar, then don't make a promise
Mm-hmm.
that you're not going to keep. That's
right.
love. Because if we're saying until death do us apart, that's a major vow, Fly.
Yeah, that's forever.
If we're saying sickness and health, for rich or for poor, we saying all those things. I will, I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Yes, sir.
So be honest enough. This is where I can kind of respect the teacher, where I think she was going. Be honest enough to say, okay, I will stay with you under the condition that, and then you fill in the blank.
Mm.
And then that other party, because remember I said there's power in agreement.
Right.
Then the other party can say, okay, I hear your condition. I agree to it or I don't.
Right.
And if you don't, then it's no point of forging a relationship. So now we're being proactive instead of getting to the altar and saying, hold up, until death do us apart. Okay, I will. But you ain't really doing that.
You ain't really doing it right.
No,
right.
Fly.
You right.
No, you ain't
right.
Really
yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's man. That's a tough one. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you what makes it tough, right? And I'm a product of it.
Mm-hmm.
So my experiences have been my best teacher, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to frame this. So we get to a point sometimes where we have to realize that we have to be 100% transparent about what our truths are.
I learned
100%, right? Because when we don't do that, we are hiding something. We're putting a veil on something that's going to be exposed later.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is.
Right.
So communicate. If this is your condition, then let me know what your condition is now in the dating phases. Because what happens is we dating, right? We getting to know each other and we're doing some things that married people do. And now we got kids. And now stuff not working out. And now, instead of the kids bringing us together, we being torn apart. Yeah. You see how that can cycle?
Yeah. I know all about it. I know all of man. Brother,
that's how I really get, brother.
That's another list. That's a whole other show right there. You want to bring the children involved and talk about wedges in a relationship? I got plenty of stories for that one.
Yes,
I do. Shout out to my daughters, though. Shout out to my daughter Tanaya, especially. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely feel you on that because I was, not to get off subject, but I was subject to that. Whereas I was in a long-term relationship, even engaged. We got children, and the mother's bitterness for me, she was trying to push it on my kids. And my son is old. My son's 23. My daughter's 16. So me and her have been apart about 18, 19 years.
Okay.
My son, like, she was like pushing stuff on him, telling him how I'm not this, how I'm not that. It took for my children like to grow up. Like, my son was always cool, but I always had a wedge with my daughter. It was always something.
Mm-hmm.
But as my daughter got older, she saw for herself. And we had this conversation a lot, Dad. That's crazy how my mother was trying to make me feel this way about you. And she said it herself, it took for me to be older to see what's going on with my own eyes.
Mm.
That's my road dog right now.
Yes.
Well, I love all my children, but it feels good for her to notice what was going on. And
yeah.
Sorry, look, I got my shoulder killing me. I got to resort to the wall. But it feels good to know that my daughter knows the truth, you know? So
yes, sir.
That's what I like.
That's major. Man. That's major. We're not out of context at all, brother. Because what happens in those scenarios, what could happen,
mm-hmm.
and this is where I come in to try to repair that, because that's reciprocal.
Right.
So what happened is, remember I was talking about how people hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And when we hurt people, we bleed on other people, right?
We do.
And sometimes it's the people that affected the most of the people in our families.
Yeah.
So what happens is our daughters who have heard those words from their queens,
mm-hmm.
their foundation is being built from an early age.
Yeah.
Right? In some cases.
Right.
Because in some cases they say, well, I don't want to be like that.
Right.
And then they end up not being like that. But in some cases they say, I don't want to be like that. And then they're like that indirectly towards other men.
Right. Right.
And then they forge a relationship with those other men, and the cycle repeats itself, brother. It's vicious. Because as the generations go on, it get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And we become fractured as a family. How many families you know come? How many families you know coming together, breaking bread and eating together on Sundays or whenever?
That part of the family structure is gone. I said that. I said, Sunday. I made a parable. Sunday dinners have been replaced with Sunday day parties. The mothers going, they want to party. They want to party. One thing about us, and another thing, not to get off subject, my grandparents, period, they set the foundation. Like in my family, that's the cookout place. That's everything. When my grandparents died, our get-togethers kind of died. But at my grandmother's house, we ate. Of course, they cooked every day, but it was mandatory to sit down Thursday for spaghetti and Sunday. Friday was pizza. You get your pizza, whatever. Sunday, you sitting your tail down.
Yes,
then
sir.
As we got older, phone, like my father, now. We go to dinner now. All of us are grown. We better not pick our phones up.
Yes, sir. I love it.
So, I mean, I'm caught up in that old school stuff.
Yes, sir.
That's like how I was raised, and I'm a little lenient. I'm more lenient than my father, but I try to do the same thing. When I got my kids, it's our time.
Yeah.
We can do the pictures and all that later.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy each other, you know?
Yes. It's important, man. It's important to start those traditions, man, and keep them going.
Yeah.
But picture this. Picture this. Now, I'm going to use the word, I'm going to be intentional about my wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the word ideal.
Ideal. Okay.
Imagine coming together and breaking bread, right, with the mother of your children and all your children.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be ideal?
Oh, I've done it. I've done that. I don't have what's crazy, so with my children, they all get along and they all got along with the women I dealt with.
Yeah.
It's just mothers. It's like the mothers, they keep the stuff going. And it's sad. Like, let's shift it for a second. We still on relationships though.
It's
right?
still on relationships, brother.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know too many black people or our people that have a decent relationship with their children's mother's spouse or boyfriend. Why is it that we are taught to hate each other? I got an instance was crazy. Guy started messing with one of my children's mother after me, right?
Mm.
I'm big, I'm not rude at all, but if I'm not formally introduced, I'm not gonna deal with you. I can see you throughout. I might speak, hey, how you doing? But if I'm not formally introduced,
yeah,
I'm not going, all right. So she used to come like when I had my daughters or whenever. I drop my daughter off, due to be with her, and I'm waiting for her like to introduce me. I don't want to go introduce myself because a lot of us men think that we still deal with our baby mothers, even if they got boyfriends or whatever. So I kept a fine line. What's up? No disrespect.
Yes, sir.
We never was introduced. My brother died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her boyfriend at the funeral. We Muslim. He's at the funeral. Ever since that day from that funeral, me and that man been the best of friends, and we laugh like, man, I can't. He not with her now either. Hey, I told her, I said, you gotta be a strong man to deal with. They said, man, I wish you would have told me. But
wow,
it's crazy. But let me ask you this, and I'm gonna get personal.
Hey, get through it, bro.
This is the incident that's going on. My children's mother, right? She has this boyfriend. She been dealing with him for a minute.
Yeah.
None of the family like him. I don't got nothing to do with that. But when my kids get involved, we got an issue. So we had an issue. And then he got into it with my daughter. We had words. I live right around the corner. Matter of fact, I was on air when all this happened one time. He called me. Well, my daughter called me. It was an issue. I asked him to come outside. I'm on my way around there. You come outside. I get around there. He ain't come. A couple days later, I go pick my daughter up. It's a camera at the door. So they done went and got cameras. The dude be talking to my children like crazy. Don't even speak to my daughter. They in the same household. The mother is allowing it. But you get on the phone with me cracking slick and being disrespectful. I've been as humble as possible.
Yeah.
This is the third strike. About 2 weeks ago, I had two of my daughters over here. While I was doing my show, I let them go over her house, which is around the corner. My daughter must have kept some food in the microwave. She must have done it plenty of times. This time, when my other daughter's with her, do you say something? That's not a place to hover to keep food. Okay, I'll move it. That went from, he made a comment or something about your father. My son winds up calling. He gets into an argument with my son thinking it's me. Calling my son old bitch ass niggas, all that, right? So I called him. I said, you want to come outside again? No. My issue is this. Me as a father, I was feeling some type of way. I got a lot going on. Words don't hurt, but you won't disrespect my daughter. I was fighting with I was fighting with really doing something to this man. Should I leave it alone because I got something to lose? But on the flip side of that, I can't have my daughter seeing you disrespect me when I'm supposed to be her protector. Gotcha. What would you do in this situation? Because you're on the third strike already. And I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm gonna be honest real quick. I had a daydream. Like, I know a lot of people. I had a daydream that I got something done to him and he died.
Hey.
So that kind of like backed me up a little bit. And with me, like back like maybe a couple years ago, I used to have visions of me being in prison, but I never knew why. So then I thought about, well, damn, is God trying to tell me something? If I go through with this, that's going to happen. So it's like plenty of things I'm dealing with, but the main thing is I cannot have this man disrespecting me or my daughter, period. So I'm trying to think of I'm trying to, because you're not going to have a conversation with me. I wanted to have a conversation with all of them. So it's like, I don't know what to do.
So if
I want to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
I do.
And you communicated to him that you would like to talk to him.
Yeah, and my children's mother, but she won't even have a conversation with me. Like, she's gone. Like, her family's like, I don't know what that dude done to her, but she just ain't thinking. My thing is, if you in that household and you letting this man disrespect our child, it's a problem. But when I speak on it, you want to be, oh, well, let's be adults here. All right, be an adult and step in and handle your mate. Fend for your child that's there.
Yeah. Well, this is the exact scenarios that I help out with, Fly. But it has to take willing participants. So I would, you asked me what I would do. I would have to have a conversation with him. I mean, if he says, I don't want to talk to you, and that's one thing, then my next step would be to get my daughter out of there. Because the problem that's occurring is occurring because of what he's saying to her or what he's doing to her in her presence. So if she's not present, then we eliminate that whole stimulus.
Can I ask a question?
Right? So he's not in a predicament where he can disrespect her, and she's not in a predicament where she can be respected by him. And we just got to move like that.
And that's what I'm working on. I live in a 1-bedroom. I told her she can come around house, sleep on the couch, but I'm actually going to look for a townhouse now.
Can I ask a question?
So I can get her out of there.
Sure.
And I'm still on child support.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Did you ask him to step outside?
Yeah.
Is that the way you said it to him?
Yeah. You want to step outside?
Well, that explains why I don't want to talk.
that sounds like fighting words. If you want to have a conversation, you don't ask somebody to step outside.
Well, listen.
Sure.
Though, before that, he was the one combative. You a whore. Okay,
right,
well,
but I'm just saying,
right
if you were trying to change the tone of the conversation, the first thing you don't say is to step outside, because that sounds like you ready to fight.
Sure, that's a threat.
I was going off his energy. I'm keeping it real. I was wrong for matching his energy. I will say that, but you're not gonna disrespect my daughter.
Agreed. I just saying, if you were trying to change the tone of the conversation, stepping outside isn't the way to go.
It's not it.
Because I'm not coming. He didn't come.
That's a threat, Fly.
So I apologize for asking you to step outside. I was pissed. I'm sorry.
Now, if you like, can you come? Can we have a conversation at the table? That's a different way to put it.
Then they go get cameras like I'm a violent guy. I'm not violent.
But now you see why, because you want them to step outside, so they want to record me stepping outside.
I love my daughter. Hey, listen, I do whatever for my daughter. I'm sorry, my kids. Period. Yeah. My thing is, for instance, they in the same household, right?
Yeah.
You're a grown man. What you doing? One, going back and forth with a child, and two, sometimes not speaking to a child. You're an adult. That's crazy to me.
Can you share what he did what did he do that's so egregious? Was it just the microwave thing, or was it more than that?
No, that's just things adding on. No, he always got something to say. Here's one thing. They went out of town, right? And this prep. He took the cord to the wash machine and put it like up high so that she couldn't wash clothes. That's one thing. He tells her she can't watch his TV in the living room. It's like he just be picking.
Another question. Because you've told me this story before. But in the midst of you telling me this story, because tonight you used the word boyfriend. When you told me the story, you said stepfather.
Fiance. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Fiance.
Okay.
Fiance. So, Marty, am I wrong, you think?
No, because there's a difference. Stepfather and boyfriend, and even fiance. Fiance and boyfriend are the same thing to me.
Yeah, well,
and
fiance.
Husband is a different story.
That's different. Right.
Because then there's a level of respect that should come with it from your child.
Yeah.
But boyfriends and fiancés, there's no commitment yet.
Right. And the thing is, like, I don't understand why my children's mother is accepting. Like, that wasn't her. Like, her family be like, what the hell is wrong with her? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I know. But I would love to talk to him. I got a million questions for him.
I really do think y'all should talk, especially before they get married.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, my daughter, this is how bad it is. My children were in the wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neither one, Dad.
They don't
I'm not going to be in the wedding. My son or my daughter.
Mm. And they're young, so it's kind of
23 and 16.
Oh, what, a 16? Oh, see, that's a difficult age, though.
What, 16?
Yeah, because their mother is like, you're almost grown, so you've got to deal with what I like. She's in that position because you can ready to get out of here anyway.
Yeah.
She got to live her life after her children are gone, so I got to deal with this for 2 more years.
Yeah.
This is so big.
But you know what? I'm still stuck on what is. I hear you saying that he does annoying things, but what is the disrespect? I'm trying to figure out where that comes in.
As far as with me or with her? Well, with her.
You said he disrespects her. Like, how does he disrespect her?
He raises his voice. He does stuff, like I say, with the plug with the wash machine. He does like a lot of petty stuff, but his tone and how he talks to her is disrespectful.
Has he called her anything egregious?
He better not.
Okay, so that didn't happen yet. So it's just his tone. Now, are they living? And that's a good point, Monty, that you brought up. Is that his home?
No, it's her home.
But he lives there?
He don't pay no bills.
He lived there?
He lives there. And it's crazy. They're so close. I can get them. We can go around. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
I just wonder what their general dynamic is.
Yeah, that's what I'm fishing around for.
Because, a 16-year-old, I remember when I was 16 and my mouth was, I could say some things to my stepfather that would get under his skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
so
the whole thing, like, you muted. You're in the same household. How do you not speak?
Mm-hmm.
Like little stuff. That's childish. And he older than me. It's crazy.
But I Fly, I'm telling you, maybe it's something I'm missing. I don't hit. So I guess we define disrespect differently. So you're saying that a man in a position of authority can't raise his voice at your daughter.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying when it's just random for no reason, that's disrespect. When you bust into my daughter's room demanding stuff and asking questions and she minding her business, and one you busting in, that's a girl you're supposed to not, that's disrespect, I believe.
Okay.
It's just a lot of stuff that's been going on.
For a long time.
Piling on.
Gotcha.
Now, do you know for sure that he don't pay no bills, or are you just guessing?
That's what I was told by.
Don't you say your daughter?
Both of my children. Listen, Tyree, my son graduated 4.0 Morgan State. He know Los. He's an engineer.
Okay, well, yeah, he's I just wouldn't take the kids' advice.
Yeah. We're not supposed to, but no. Then that's another thing. When it's coming from my oldest,
he's grown. He would know a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing that sealed it for me is when I sent my other daughter with her, and they came back. Because kids can shake some stuff up. Kids know how to pin, how to point. How to put
fabricate.
Together. But when my daughter confirmed it, I was like, you know what? Let's have a conversation. I ain't gonna send nobody around there to
now. I want to ask about that microwave situation. Did she just put that food in the microwave and leave it there, or because could this be a common thread?
I'm gonna tell you, it was in there for about 2 hours. When I picked her up, I went to get my other daughter, brought them to my house for a second, then took them back around. Within a matter of 2 hours.
No, but I'm meaning, I say that to say, is it a common thread? Does she do it often?
Yeah, she does it often.
Yeah, see. I see why. I mean,
but from my understanding, he never spoke on it.
Mm. Oh, that was the first time.
Yeah, that was the first time. And my daughter was like, "Well," and she said to him, "I always do this. Why are you saying something about it now?"
So it could be a nitpicky situation. He being nitpicky.
Yeah, he's a nitpicker. My thing is, for what? I don't know.
Hey man, you never know what the brother been through, Jack.
Yeah,
we all combination of our experiences.
We can be men and talk about it, though.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna talk to you, threaten him, bro.
Listen, I deleted the text. He threatened me first. We can fight. I went on and just deleted it, and that's when I asked him, "Well, do you want to come outside?"
You know, some people make the error of getting in relationships and not remembering that if somebody has children, that you have to relate to the dynamic of the child too.
Yeah.
So important.
And if you don't build a relationship with that child, this future is not going to look great.
And he messed that up.
Yeah.
Neither one of my children like.
Because at some point, like you're saying that you don't want it to get to a boiling point, but it seems like it's inevitable.
Yeah.
While she's still living with them.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, I'm willing because I want to know what does my daughter has straight A's.
Mm-hmm.
She's not out here wild. Give her phone, her tablet, and she's good. I don't get it.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be. But even with that shouldn't be the dynamic of a group of people living in a house.
Yeah,
that's just tension all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, after hearing that, my daughter would not be living there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time.
Because it's a matter of time.
I'm working on it.
The interesting part is that the boiling point will be right when she's ready to move out because she's going to say what's on her mind.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going to be. I think she's going to be prepared for it with her own address. Probably yours. Probably yours. But
this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to them again. Can you be the mediator?
Yeah, sure. I'll be on it.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna reach out and see what happens.
Let's have a sit down. Yeah.
Thing is, me and the mother don't really. She's bitter from.
It's not even about that though. This isn't. That y'all relationship isn't a relationship y'all discussing.
True.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, objectives got to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My thing is,
I almost step on the doctor's toes, so I'm backing off now.
No.
Thanks for coming on in, Marty. We appreciate it. Right? But yeah, man, that thing has been bothering me because I look at myself as not only her father, but I'm her protector. And she's witnessing this man say disrespectful stuff and all of that. Of course, I told her I wanted to talk to him, but I'm kind of failing. I don't know. I just think I'm failing in her eyes as far as dealing with that situation.
Hey, one thing I want to kind of go back to is the fact that kids could be manipulative.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember that the exercise I told you about when you talk to somebody and you ask them, "What did you hear?"
Yeah.
I do that with my kids because I know that if I don't say, "Michaela, what did you hear?" she'll go back and she'll tell my ex something totally different than what I said.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to rehearse, or not in a sense. I have to ask her, "What did you hear?" And if she tells me something different than what I said, Michaela, that's not what I said. This is what I said.
Right.
Because I say that because if you tell your daughter to tell him anything, I'm not saying that you did, but if that happens, man, she gonna take it with fire.
Oh, she gonna tell him. She
like that Kevin Hart.
She gonna tell him.
Yeah, my daddy said blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's not gonna come out right.
Right. And I understand that. I definitely do. I understand that.
Cause she don't like him. It's clear.
Yeah.
And that's his. And to be honest, that's his fault.
Yeah, I believe so.
If she don't like you, that's your fault because you are the grown up and you should have been presenting the relationship that you want to build.
Yeah.
That's important, man.
Yeah.
That's
in a household is that and they talking about getting married.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how that's gonna happen. I feel uncomfortable for their relationship.
My thing is, as her being the mother, how do you feel about your children not wanting to be a part of the best day of your life because of your mate?
Do you know how long they've been together by chance?
Some years. I'm over 5
and
years.
That's why. But that's why right there, because it's been years. A pattern has been set.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
I'm gonna do my part though. And I hope I have some good news for you, Dr. White. I hope I do.
Did she always dislike him?
Huh?
Did she always dislike him?
No.
See, something happened. Something happened in that relationship to make it deteriorate.
Had to.
I don't know.
Maybe it was he doesn't, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I got this right. He actually lives around the corner from you, but he stays there?
No. They.
Oh, both of them live.
My children. He lives with them around the corner.
Okay, so that's his house too.
Her name on everything.
Okay, but I got you. But he lives there. He's like a permanent fixture.
Yeah, he lives there. Yeah.
So at what point did he move in?
How old was she? That's the question. Yeah, how old was she when he moved in?
That's a good question. My daughter's 16, maybe 10, 11.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's probably when it started, bro. I mean, people, you don't really know somebody until you live with them.
Yeah.
So that's probably when all of it started, when he moved in.
I don't know. I just want to get down. I just want to get to
yeah, you got to get to the bottom of it. Because have they ever hung out? Has he taken her out to the see? There's no relationship there. He didn't build a relationship with her children.
Right.
And that's the problem. It's going to always be a problem. Even when they're married and later down the road, she still dislikes him. And she's going to dislike him 10 years from now.
Right. Right.
Because they have no relationship. And that's what she's going to tell everybody she knows. I don't F with that man.
I don't mess with him. I don't mess with my stepfather.
That's her husband. Because that's what he's going to be. Not my stepfather. That's her husband.
Her husband. Right. Right.
That's right.
Definitely right.
That's going to make Thanksgiving awkward because people going to just come and go. I'm going to get my plate and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So none of them like that. When I get with my children, grandmother and the aunts and all of them, we can't stand it. I don't know what's going on with.
But see, and it matters. It matters too because he hasn't built a relationship with the rest of the family apparently either.
Right.
Which has now isolated her to him being her only support system.
Yeah.
Meaning the wife, the future wife.
You're right.
And it says something about her too.
Yeah. Broken.
They think she's losing.
Broken.
Hey, man,
she's anything to glue the pieces together.
You said it. We all hurting.
We hurting, man.
We all hurting.
She's using anything to glue the pieces together.
Right. It's crazy.
And when she got into a comfort zone, she just likes it too much to let it go.
Right. Well,
makes sense to me.
To each his own. Let's.
Well, time's up though, Tyree.
Oh man. Well, listen, Dr. White. Before we get out of here, let the people know how to find you on social media.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's an honor and a privilege. So, first on Facebook, just search the Relationship Conflict Group, and I'll be glad to accept the invite. On Instagram at Darrell Dr. White. You can reach me there directly. So, some good nuggets on there, man. So I hope that it really bless the people when they check in.
I appreciate your time. And to the viewers, you will see more of Dr. White. Yes, you will. We're gonna make some things happen.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, Dr. White. Mon, I appreciate you.
Yeah. No doubt. Thanks, Mon.
Till next week. This has been another great show. I am Fly T Miles, Dr. White. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
See y'all next week.
All right, man. Peace.
All right.
And that's just how I'm had to do it. It's frustrating seeing children come into the classroom without basic knowledge of how to be respectful. But those things need to be taught at home. I should not be teaching you how to fold clothes in second period. That's not no.
Oh,
I have to